Hello and welcome. This is a lesson on planets. Get ready to learn. You live here. Did you know there are two major classifications of planets? The inner planets and the outer planets. And there are two ways to classify them this way. They're on composition and how far they are from the sun. The inner planets are all rock-like. And they're very close to the sun compared to the outer planets. After the sun and planets formed, leftover materials formed asteroids and comets. Why is this important? Well, knowing allows us to make decisions about exploration. We're looking at going to Mars. Knowing about other planets helps us to understand our own planet, Earth. And there may or may not be life on other planets, which would change a whole bunch of things. Well, what's important to know about planets? There are 8 planets, and then there are others. You got Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, the inner planets, and then Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune. These are the planets, or the classical planets. Then you have the dwarf planets. Ceres, Pluto, Charon, other. They're finding them all the time. Pluto's definition changed to a dwarf planet from a planet. And there's real good reason for that. Asteroids, meteoroids, and comets are the largest. Dust and ice is the smallest of other materials that are not planets. And only the first 2 planets, Mercury and Venus, have no moons. Oh, Mercury and Venus don't have moons. Here are the inner planets. This is the relative size of the inner planets. Mercury, Venus, Earth, and Mars. Mostly made of rock. They're terrestrial or Earth-like. Now, Earth's the only one with water on it that we can see in this much volume. Other planets may have trace amounts of water. And again, they're finding more and more every day. These are close to the sun. That's why they're called the inner planets. Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, this is relative size, how far they are from the sun. Here we are at Earth, down here. And then you see how far away. AU is the distance from the Earth to the sun. 1 AU is 1 unit from the Earth to the sun. So we have Saturn at 10 times as far. Uranus is 20. Neptune is 30 AUs. Now the outer planets, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. They're made mostly of gas. They're gas giants. They are huge compared to the size of the Earth. And they're far from the sun. They're very cold. And they tend to have many moons. We have 1. Here they are, 1, 2, 3, 4. so far away from the sun. Now Mercury. It's slightly larger than Earth's moon. It's tiny. It's covered with impact craters. And it's very hot. It's mostly iron. It's the length of the day, length of a year one time around the sun. The distance from the sun is a third of the distance between the sun and Earth. No moons. Terrestrial. It's Earth-like. Now, Mercury was the Roman version of the Greek god Hermes, the messenger. If you weighed 100 pounds on Earth, you would weigh only 37.8 there. Now, Venus. It's slightly smaller than Earth. The atmosphere is mostly carbon dioxide, but it's the hottest planet. Not so much because, well, of course, because it's close to the sun, it's going to be hot, but because of the carbon dioxide in its atmosphere, it traps the heat in. Latest information. The length of a day. Ours is 24 hours. This is almost 3,000 hours. It takes 224 Earth days to go around the sun. And it's 3/4 of the distance between the sun and Earth. No moons. It's Earth-like, made out of rock. And Venus is the Roman name for the goddess of love, considered to be the brightest and most beautiful planet. If you weighed 100 pounds on Earth, you would weigh almost 100 pounds there, 90.7. Earth. Everyone lives here, even the people in the space station. Liquid water covers 70% of the planet, and the atmosphere is 21% oxygen. It takes 24 hours to spin around once on its axis. Call that a day. 365.26 days to go around the sun one time, to orbit or go around the sun. The distance is 1 AU. The number of moons, 1. And the name of the moon, by the way, is Luna. It's Earth-like. It's the only planet with life that we found so far. If you weighed 100 pounds on Earth, you'd be 100 pounds. Mars. Red in colors from iron rust in soil. Has several rover sensors on it. We've landed rovers, robots, to analyze it. And it has a thin carbon dioxide atmosphere. It takes about the same amount of time to go spin around once on its axis as the day on Earth. Almost 2 years to go around the sun once. It's 1.5 times as far from the sun as Earth is. It's got 2 moons, Phobos and Deimos. It's terrestrial, it's rock-like. Mars was the Roman god of war. Because of the red, they made up stories about war. If you weighed 100 pounds on Earth, you'd weigh 37.7 there. It's smaller than Earth, less mass, less gravity. Jupiter. Now, it's the largest planet. It's a gas giant. The red spot is a storm. But it's a storm the size of the planet Earth. It's been going on for years and years and years. And the atmosphere is hydrogen and helium. It's huge, but yet it's turning very fast. It only takes 9.9 hours to spin around one time, even though this is the size of the Earth. It's huge. It takes almost 12 years to go around the sun one time, and it's 5 times as far from the sun as the Earth is. At last count, it had at least 53 moons. It's a gas giant. And Jupiter was also known as Zeus in Greek mythology. And we still don't know if there's a solid core. It may just be gas or liquid. If you weighed 100 pounds on Earth, you'd weigh 252 there. Yeah, it's huge, but there's not as much mass as you would think because it's all gas. Saturn. You would know Saturn for the rings of ice and dust. With a good pair of binoculars, you can actually see this certain times of the year. It's made of hydrogen and helium, and it rotates very fast. And that's why the atmosphere is in bands. It takes 10 hours to go around one time, even though it's a gas giant. It's rotating very fast. It takes almost 30 years to go around the sun one time. It's almost 10 times as far from the sun as the Earth is. Has at least 53 moons, and it's made of gas, and Saturn was named after the god of sowing seed and of the harvest. The rings, these rings, they're thousands of miles wide from end to end, but yet they're only 30 feet thick. It's very thin. If you weighed 100 pounds on Earth, you'd weigh about 100 the same there. Again, it's a giant planet, but it's made mostly of hydrogen and helium, not very dense. Uranus. It's the only planet that's tilted on the sides. Other planets go around the sun like this. This one is tilted on its side. It goes around like this. Nobody knows why. Hydrogen, helium, and methane storms are on the planet. And the methane, it scatters blue light. That's why it appears this way. It's almost a day on Earth. 84 years to go around the sun once. It's because it's 19 times as far away as the Earth is. Has at least 27 moons and is a gas giant. And Uranus was the Greek god of heavens. And yes, it's pronounced Uranus too. The moons are named after characters in Shakespeare's Midsummer's Night's Dream. Of course, not all 27 come from there. If you weighed 100 pounds on Earth, you'd weigh a little less there. Boy, it would be cold. Neptune is made of hydrogen and helium and has clouds of methane. It's the coldest planet. It's far from the sun. day lasts 59 days on Earth. It's rotating slowly. 165 years to go around the sun once. It's because it's 30 times as far from the sun as the Earth is. Has at least 13 moons and is made of gas, and Neptune was the Roman god of the sea. If you weighed 100 pounds on Earth, you'd weigh 112 there. Boy, you'd be a popsicle, though. Now we got all these dwarf planets. Here's good old Pluto, Charon, Ceres, all these other materials. Pluto is reclassified, and there's many other dwarf planets. Here's why it was reclassified. Yes, it orbited the sun. Yes, it's massive enough to be round, but it hasn't cleared the neighborhood around its orbit. In other words, there's other stuff in its orbit around the sun. Every other planet has cleared its orbit of other material. And that's one of the major reasons that Pluto was reclassified as a dwarf planet, as something else. It's also rock, way out there. Now, how to remember the order of the planets? Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune. My very educated mother just served us nachos. If you can remember this phrase, my very educated mother just served us nachos, you can remember the order of the planets. So why is this important? Knowing about the planets allows us to make decisions about exploration. Knowing about other planets helps us to understand Earth. There may be life on other planets. Maybe we'll find out. There's your lesson on the planets.